All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming into April 10th, 2019. A lot of plays that we've seen from the last week, a lot more reasoning. The special events we're going to be looking out for is what happens with the EU and Brexit. That's one thing that should be a non-risk event. We're going to see how the market is pre-market based on Mario Draghi and the ECB, and then we have the Fed and the FOMC minutes. So there's going to be a lot. It could potentially move a lot. We may see a lot of the movement in the beginning of the day and even the end of the day. We are going to see, but either way, tune in pre-market. We are going to be trading live all day. You're going to watch us go over these trades, and I'm going to start off this watch list by going over some specific options for you guys to look at. So make sure you're on the stream. It's pinned in the comments. It's in the description. It's in the corner, youtube.com/the stock market. We are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. Man, these guys are probably not sick of or very sick of hearing that, but I enjoy you guys. I appreciate you. Like the video if you like this video, if you like these watch lists, and to make sure YouTube recommends them for you, and subscribe if you are new. So let's get into it. Actually, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you right there. I forgot to mention this when I recorded the video, but make sure you post your watch list below. That is the point here. I want to source it. We're going to go over these live on stream at pre-market. I go over all the comments, so make sure you post your watch list, contribute. I want to see what you guys are playing. Let's share some ideas, and you guys could use that comment section to learn. So, yes, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Yes. I have a lot of the plays, and there's a lot more plays hidden behind the plays. It's like a Russian doll. There's a bunch of stuff. But as far as the options, here is a play to look at even to swing into next week. And both of these are options, you guys. I want you to put, between now and next week. And that's something we've talked about a lot on stream. I've talked about in these options. And if not, here's to clarify, this week's options aren't as appealing as next week, so keep that in mind when you're looking to make a purchase. If you could spend slightly more and get similar around the money for not too much and a little extra time, it may be worth it, especially kind of at this pivotal point with some of the stuff going on. So take a look at that. But Home Depot is one to watch. It finally dropped, and people ask my logic. Home Depot has been a tank. That's the last 2 weeks. If you look at it on the daily, it's an absolute monster. It's been doing great. So it's finally having its first red day after a while. The strength could continue, and Home Depot's running on independent news as well as being a value stock. Another play to watch is McDonald's, specifically those contracts we brought up on the yesterday's watch list, those 192s. But Home Depot, watch for next week and this week, the 202 or the 205, and pretty much these three, any of these, the 202.50s to the 207.50s. This is on the weekly. I'd be more careful. I snagged some of the ones around here this week. I got the 205s today. I think I got them at like 65 cents or 60 cents. These are the ones I got. So a lot of people are asking on stream. It's a low IV, so you guys could see it's finally a low IV. And here's what I'm talking about with the option. It's finally coming down to a price. It's the same price as Thursday. It's not falling back down there, so it can come down a little. So that is my worry. However, that is anticipating a quicker drop. So if Home Depot does come up, and again, the point of all these plays and everything is for you guys to watch and learn and understand the intricacies of these contracts. So watch how this values. If it is a quick bounce, watch how the value of the contract goes up. And if it drops again, watch how it sets that level and comes down from here. And again, this is what I said on stream today. Watch for the expensive contracts. If you find something in the morning or even today at close, something you wanted throughout the day, if it was too expensive, watch those in the morning and wait for them to come on sale. That's literally what happened, and I brought that up here with Baidu, and that's the next one I want you guys to watch, because Baidu kind of sold off a little heavy. We got another play on JD too. I'd watch that as well. But Baidu, BID is the ticker. It dropped again, and it dropped pretty massively at close. But I said watch the April 18th calls. I'm waiting for the bounce, and these Chinese stocks have been volatile. Again, we sold this contract for $3 the other day, but now it's coming back to that level around 160. So if it drops around here, it could be a good one. But again, it's already losing a tremendous amount of its value. If it does bounce up, it could be good. And I think it did the same thing. This is what I was talking about today. This contract was up substantially. In the morning, it dropped, to 230 from opening at 345, even 330, and then shot back up, and then before eventually coming down. So we'll look for that when you're trying to buy some of these contracts in the morning or stuff you're looking at. But Baidu, Home Depot, what's the other one? Good old Boeing, that's the last one. And we've talked about this. I bought more puts. I'm liking I scaled in on some smaller ones way out the money that way below the 350 strike I don't think are going to hit. Or I think I got the 350 somewhere pretty low. But the 355s, I want these around 40 cents. But watch out for that. But then I also snagged more of the April 18th calls. The big thing I'm liking is the calls. I may even start going out to May for earnings, but I think it's getting extraordinarily cheap. These 390s are getting at a good price for the 392s. But again, anything from 390 and above, you could watch those for the cheaper contracts. Watch how they gain value, but I like that with Boeing. It's been having news, and keep that on watch. I think in the next few days, it could make a move now that it's had 2 big down days in a row. So there's that. Now watch that, and I guess to start off continuing with down days or just continuations in general, Facebook. So Facebook was a rocket out of the gate this morning. I like that for tomorrow morning. It might do the same thing. So again, we saw Apple did the same thing this morning and then finally sold off. Apple had a good day yesterday. You literally saw the exact same thing this morning, a little quick one, and then it jumped. It took time for the contracts to kind of settle in. So Facebook did that today. It's finally up, and Facebook, that was a big jump, and it's at these I think it's a 3-month high. So coming into earnings again, and don't forget about earnings season. I like Amazon, so make sure you guys put that on your list, and even look out till May if you want to play the earnings, and make sure you're giving yourself time. But Facebook's going to be an interesting one. I'm going to watch that one right off the open. What else we got? Chipotle. The CDC case is expanding a little bit more, so watch that, see how it gets affected. It was kind of pretty bullish today and then kind of came down, but watch how that affects it. We'll see if any more fingers get pointed at Chipotle or any more social media reports or anything like that. You guys could go check those websites. You guys are all over that. Next is Wells Fargo and the financials, and I'm be careful because the options and the stock itself is moved down on Wells Fargo. The option premiums pricing in some movements, and I'm even seeing the far out of the money ones are getting a lot of premium. I'm expecting this to have a pre-earnings pump up. So I think even puts and calls may start to go up depending on which way the underlying moves. But I think even if the underlying stays the same, I think the puts and calls will go up in value because of the earnings. But watch for the banks to price stuff in. Again, Goldman and Citi are on Monday. You got JP Morgan and Wells Fargo Friday. So watch for those. Those are going to be interesting to see how they're moved. But I definitely like them and are going to keep my eyes on them. BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond, they reported it kind of did nothing. Watch what it does pre-market or even at open, because despite the earnings, it may look like it didn't do anything. It might take a response in the morning. So that's what you look for sometimes with these earnings, where it may look like it didn't do much, but you'd be surprised. This could be a big mover during the day when there's more volatility and volume in general. Next, we got good old Apple. So this dropped a lot after running up to, and again, this had something off the gate you could have played, but the contracts are pretty expensive. Watch for it to make any big moves. See if the market catches up to it, but if it does make any big moves, it could be good. And again, as that Thursday, Friday comes around, tomorrow's going to be an interesting day for options. Let me give you guys that warning now. It's middle of the week. It's either going to set you up to be well positioned on some crazy options. However, the VIX has gone up the last 2 days. The prices are going to be expensive, and Wednesday it could quickly deplete. So Thursday and Friday could present better opportunities. And again, don't forget about those next weeks. A lot of stuff are pointing towards getting some time in next week. But there's that. Watch Apple and then NVIDIA and the chip makers. So I'm going to point out NVIDIA specifically. The chip makers got hit on the head again today. It was pretty ugly at sometimes, but I'm surprised even NVIDIA made the drop. They were the first to drop in the market. But watch NVIDIA. It held up a lot better compared to Micron, AMD, and the other ones, even Qualcomm. It looks a lot better. It's been holding there. It's still holding around this 190, still near a high. It's at a breakout point. Their earnings are good. They got a lot of good things coming for it, and its earnings have a lot of time left on it, so it has a lot of time to move on it. But keep your eye out on NVIDIA. We got some of theirs. I averaged on some of those today, but I'm going to definitely be watching that. Next, Disney. So this made a move today, and this made a move. And remember, I told you guys on the watch list, I said watch one of the contracts, but it's the same exact contracts you guys could watch, those 117 and 18s. They're pretty expensive. I don't really like any of the contracts on Disney, to be honest. I don't think they were that good. They already shot up. They held up. It kept going up. So you're going to have to kind of wait till it comes down here. The market's pricing in a lot, but watch Disney. It could create a downside move. However, if it does go up and the contracts do die in the morning, that could be a great opportunity. And that is the effect. If the market does do a gap down and rip up, which would be awesome, those contracts could get really, really cheap on some of the calls. So hopefully we see that in the morning, but we're going to keep our eye out for that. I like Disney. Amazon, I already brought up. I think Amazon was showing a little bit more weakness today, so I'm going to keep my eyes out for any negative Amazon news. The contracts are decent. I like the May contracts for earnings. There's that. Home Depot, I think that's going to be a great one, and this is going to kind of deal with the value stocks. Watch McDonald's. It actually ramped up today. If you look at it on the daily chart, it closed higher. It did good. It's starting to act like a value. It's starting to move inverse from the SPY, so we might see something good out of that. The contracts are decently priced. They haven't ramped just yet, which is both a good and a bad sign, so we're going to keep that on watch. And hopefully you guys know. Did I remind you guys? Make sure you post your watch list below. Hopefully I better remind you. You guys, I don't know. And if I did, yeah, but you better post your watch list there below. I want to know what you guys are trading. I'm going through all these. I'm like, man, this is a lot of companies. You guys better remind me for these. There's that JetBlue. I'd watch this in the morning. They announced they're going to be doing Atlantic flights across the U.S. finally, so expanding their segments. The stock shot up after hours, so that could be an interesting one. Watch that. And lastly, I have two more, Citrix and CRM. Citrix has been doing this kind of pattern since they had that announcement of seeking to take a stake. It's literally just been slow gap up, drop down, gap up, drop down. This could be setting up for something. I don't know what week it'll be, but longer term contracts are going to be beneficial. So watch there, and we should even comb through the option chain on that one. So keep an eye out for Citrix. There's that. And then lastly, there's CRM. So it shot up, came down, but as you see over the last few days, it's been doing these shoot ups and come downs, but overall it's ending here now near these lows. It could set new lows. I think the same thing applies for not Twilio. Twilio, yeah, and Workday kind of went up, so they're operating different, but CRM is clearly facing a little bit more of the pressures and downside. Maybe it's leading or lagging. You just saw the same sector doing all three different things, so it's going to be a push and pull, and we'll see, but keep your eyes out on for that. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, let me know if I missed anything. Post your watch list below. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new, and get ready for the stream in the morning. Let's go!